Hey there, disc golfers. By now, I'm sure you've checked out Paul Mcbeth's video that he's released about what putters he's going to be throwing. If you haven't, there's going to be a card up there for you. Also, make sure you stay tuned to the middle of our video as we have a special announcement about a special guest that we are going to be interviewing. My boy Wes Shinevar, team captain of Discraft Underground, right over there. My name is Patrick Harrison. I'm on the Discraft Underground, and I'm going to be your host for this. And we're going to jump straight into the zone, Wes. So talk to us about Paul throwing the zone. He had 3 of them.
Yeah, he had 3 zones, Z-Flex, TI, and then a crystal one. He seemed to really like the Z-Flex for his backhands. I mean, everybody knows about the zone, nice flat top, beadless putter. Seemed to really like the Z-Flex. The TI he seemed a little bit less interested in. You know, I think the TI gets a little more ground play maybe than he wants from a putter. He talked about, you know, when he was throwing the crystal one forehand, about just having a nice, slow, soft approach disc into the basket, which he hasn't had before. So I think we'll see the Z-Flex probably for his backhands, and we'll probably see the crystal, it seems like, for his forehands.
I think definitely. He actually mentioned a couple times that he had not had that shot in his bag. 3 times, I believe he mentioned it. So it was pretty cool to hear him reiterate on that. I'm going to add to this real quick. I think you might see him with Jawbreaker in there too. I don't know if he's been throwing it yet, but I really like how Jawbreaker zones beat in. And it even adds more to that shot that he didn't have before.
Could be a third one.
Could be. Challenger SS. He said it was beefier than a lot of the stuff, and we watched the flights, and it definitely seemed like it did have a little more stable flight path.
Yeah, Challenger SS is a beadless, pretty flat top putter. Just took the micro bead off the Challenger, and I've thrown these for a while myself, and I was really surprised at how stable the one was that Paul was throwing. For myself, these are, little hyzer flip to flat, and they will ride out straight or just finish a little bit to the right. So to see him throw one and see it hold a hyzer was actually pretty surprising. Maybe there was a left to right wind that was kind of holding that hyzer down. I don't think they're quite as stable as in the video, but it didn't seem like something he was overly interested in his testing anyway.
Nope, I would agree with that. And I would say the same with the next selection here, which was the Challengers. He had 2 of them. The Pro D one seemed like it was quite a bit less stable than the Jawbreaker one that he was throwing. And it seemed like he was pretty quick to almost kind of just move on past them, and here they are, and didn't seem too enthusiastic about throwing either one of those. Yeah,
the Pro D was super flippy, which was pretty surprising. The other one was pretty neutral, but again, Paul seems to kind of like beadless putters, and that just has a little micro bead, so maybe not quite as comfortable in his hand as he wants with a throwing putter.
Which is kind of surprising, because I would say that the Challenger's definitely been a staple in a lot of Discraft players' bags over many, many years. So we'll go really quick with the Focus. This was another disc that he quickly touched base on, and he threw it. Had a little flip up to flat, kind of moved to the right S flight out of it a little bit.
Yeah, pretty neutral flight. Has a little bit bigger bead again. Same story. He doesn't really like beaded putters that much, it seems like. So even though it had an actually pretty nice flight for him, I think he'll have some other disc in his throwing putter slot, which we'll get to.
I agree with that too. The magnet. Now this one was kind of interesting because he does mention in there that he knows a lot of players using it for outside of the circle putts and making big putts. So do you think we'd see something like this in his bag for those kind of situations?
Yeah, we might. We talked about the magnet briefly as something he used to use before he was sponsored. It has, kind of this goofy little bevel here where it actually sits quite nicely for Paul's putting form. So I think we might see it for his longer putts on courses that don't have a lot of wind, maybe not the wide open courses, maybe your wooded courses, as something that he can kind of finesse a little bit more to the basket and run some longer putts with pretty safely and pretty accurately.
Okay. On to a disc that I feel like he really was talking a lot about, and he actually had a smile on his face pretty much the whole time he was talking about it, and that would be the Roach.
Yeah, funny enough, I don't have a Roach, but a beadless putter, pretty shallow, kind of mid-stability. Paul likes to putt with that little bit of hyzer, so it kind of makes sense for a neutral putter to potentially be his putting putter. I know we got one more disc to talk about, but I think the Roach is probably going to be Paul's go-to putting putter for sure inside the circle. Maybe we'll see that magnet outside, 70, 80 feet or something, but I think the Roach is probably going to be Paul's go-to putting putter.
And I think that the way we're going to know that is by maybe we can sneak that question in there for his interview that we're going to be releasing on Friday morning for all of you awesome disc golfers out there. So yes, you heard it here first on this video. We will be doing an interview with Paul Mcbeth on Thursday, editing and releasing it for you on Friday. So if you haven't by now, make sure that you are subscribing to the channel by hitting that notification bell up top so that you're reminded every time that we come on with new content for you to check out. And there might be a giveaway for, you know, within that first hour or so for all you awesome people that are part of the Underground Notification Squad. You guys that are always liking the videos, watching them right away. I see a lot of the names in there in those first comments. It's awesome seeing you guys. So thank you so much for that. And should we go on to our final disc here, the one that I'm sure everybody has been waiting for? There was a lot of hype around this. And that is going to be the Luna.
Yeah. So Luna, you know, I think is kind of comparable to a Roach, even though I don't have one to hold here. From what I remember, it looks like by the specs, it's a little bit deeper Roach, a little bit more stable. We see it's got a pretty flat top. It's got a 2 fade rating, and having thrown these myself, I was pretty surprised at their stability for a throwing putter. But you can see they got, you know, a little bit, I don't want to call it sharp, but a little bit more kind of edgy rim, which gives them that 2 fade. Really nice throwing putter. No doubt in my mind this is going to be in Paul's bag. For sure as a throwing putter, there's a lot of debate going on whether it will be his putting putter. But for sure, in his bag, throwing putter.
So I think that he's going to be putting with it as well. So why don't you guys give me a hashtag Luna down below and let me know if you think he's going to be using it as his main putting putter. Or if you think he's going to be using a Roach, why don't you throw on hashtag Roach. Also, while you're in the comments, ask Paul a question. We're going to be picking one lucky comment from down below here. And we're actually going to ask your question to Paul. Let him know that the question came from you during the interview. And we're also going to pin your comment to the top of this video. That way everybody knows to look forward to that question on the video on Friday. So comment down below. What do you want? What do you want to know from Paul? I think that's all that we have. Although I did want to touch base on no banger GT, no ringer GT.
Yeah, of those, the ringer GT was the only one I was a little surprised not to see him testing as a more stable throwing putter. I thought that it had a chance, you know, a little bit straighter forehand disc, a little bit straighter backhand disc than the Zone. I thought maybe it had a chance for to be something he was interested in, but obviously not in the video, so it doesn't seem like that's something that'll be in his bag.
I love them. The ringer GT, I have one in my bag. Bridges the gap very nice between a Zone and like my focus and my ringers.
Yeah,
like if there's a little bit of headwind where it's like, this is the line I really don't want to throw a Zone on because it's just not the ideal shot. Yeah, ringer GT, love them. Other than that, I think that's all, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Share the video if you are enjoying it. Obviously, give us a like, especially if you're enjoying it. Make sure that you are subscribed by getting that notification bell on so that every time we come on with new awesome videos, you are one of the first ones to know. And the most important thing, Wes?
Make that putt!
Make that putt!
Make it! Make the putt!
Just make it!
One. I like big putts. I cannot lie. Oh, yeah!